Okay, hello everybody from the Fluid community. Thanks again for joining us. So we're super excited you're here. So as you can see, we've got our amazing CMO, Jessica Walker, CTO, Igor. We've got Max, who is the glue that holds the entire company together. And we have two new people who've joined us. So Jessica's going to introduce them. We're going to go through a number of things that marketing is working on. Jessica has an amazing thing involving coffee. And then Igor and some others are going to show a little bit about our P2P marketplace, which is the greatest thing that has ever been created since, I don't know, the wheel or fire or something like that. So Jessica, why don't you introduce some new people?
I was going to say the greatest thing since sliced bread, but the wheel is probably more fitting for a tech company. So hi, Fluid Fam. Happy Friday to everyone that is watching. Now, as you guys know, we always start with these calls with our new Fluid family members and team members. So we have 3 new joiners that have joined the company this week. We do have 2 of them on the call. So we have Dimitri, who's an Android dev, and also Yuri, who's an Android dev. So maybe we can start with you, Dimitri. Welcome to the team. Maybe you want to give a little bit of a sentence on some of your experience and also where you're based.
Okay. First of all, I have an experience about 10 years in Android development, if I'm not mistaken. Much experience I have in Android apps banks, top 5 banks of Russia, for example. And so what to say? It will be a pleasure for me to work with your company and to process this application. I choose maybe Fluid application because I believe in that industry, in that future will be how to say, very promising for very promising.
Bullish on Fluid. That's perfect.
Yes,
that's all you needed to say.
Thanks,
amazing.
Dimitri.
Great to have you on board. And we also have Yuri. You're also going to be an Android developer with us in Fluid. It looks like you are also in the Georgia office. Is that correct?
Yeah, probably. We in the Georgia.
Awesome. Okay, fantastic. Welcome to the team. And also this is reference for our community as well, because we had so much feedback from everyone that's using our applications and suggestions for further progression on Android. So great to have you all on board. Okay, so I think now we're going to be running through into some of the marketing updates, if that's correct. So we have some exciting announcements. First of all, we have our current Gleam campaign that's running for the whole of December. A huge thank you to everyone that's taken part so far. Pretty exciting prizes that are up for grabs. So far we've had 2,130 entries, encouraging you guys to make sure to follow us on socials. This is where you'll hear all of the breaking Fluid family news. And we do have the winner for this week. So a big congratulations to Wally, who is the winner. We'll be reaching out to you on socials and emails and giving you some directions on how to claim your prize and also enjoy the winning. So big congratulations. The competition is running for another 2 weeks. It ends the 23rd of December. So if you have not yet, guys, do make sure to take part and we'll keep you posted on the winnings. Now, probably one of the most exciting calls and updates that we've had in the past few weeks at Fluid happened this week. We had our head of community, Ava, gave us all the announcement that actually she was able to spend via another platform called Curve using Fluid Finance, directly using her digital cash. She was able to purchase a cup of coffee using our DUSD. So we actually announced to a few of our ambassadors that they're able to do this. And I think, Max, you have the image that we can show to our community that are watching that have not yet been able to try and test this out. So we have one guy who's posted out on Twitter and shared with the world, which was absolutely awesome to see. We have Magnus. He's given a little bit of a run through of how he was able to achieve this, opening MetaMask and connecting to FluidFi, swapping Arbitrum ETH to USD and then to Euro. And he was able to use Apple Pay and also spend for a crypto coffee. So we've had some amazing people that have reached out that have been able to circulate, and using their DUSD, they've been able to spend in the real world, which is actually what this industry is all about. So we're gathering some of these updates. formulating everything into a blog as well. And we're going to start a little bit of a crypto coffee trend. So keep following Fluid on socials, keep an eye out, and we'll keep keeping you posted for coffee breaks all around the world. It's very exciting. Awesome. Okay. So Robert, I'm going to hand it back over to you now because there is a lot of updates that we have for you. And I think we're going to jump in with the ARB fund, if that's correct.
Yes. So the ARB fund is going to officially open in our app to our users next week. So that's going to be combined with some marketing. It's really exciting. We've been having a lot of discussions behind the scenes with more traditional type of investors who are interested in the arbitrage fund. I see there's a few questions about it. I'll answer them when we get to Q&A. But it is going to open. It's going to open next week. I'm incredibly excited about it because it's one of the core things that this company does really well. With our partnership together with Currency Cloud, who underpin the likes of eToro and Revolut and Klarna and some other leading fintechs. And you can actually see me chatting with Rich, one of the co-founders of Currency Cloud, on the Real Vision YouTube channel. So you can see exactly how we're building together with Currency Cloud. But we've integrated 32 different currencies into our app, into the backend. We've only released basically 4 of them, which is the dollar, the euro, the franc, and the pound. So that essentially gives us the ability to offer currencies in around the world. So we can do over 180 cross pairs. And one of the things that we're developing is a P2P marketplace. So that, essentially what it allows us to do is to take in money in 32 different currencies. We're also plugged into every banking network you can think of, from Swift to Fedwire to ACH to SEPA. And then at the other end, it allows us to pay out through our P2P marketplace. So the tech team's going to demonstrate a little bit about what they've built. Essentially, the difference is that allows us to capture really, really attractive spreads across a whole bunch of different currencies. So we've started doing that in a few different countries, in a few different currencies. It's really, really profitable, and we're super excited about it. So the arbitrage fund is going to be shared between investors directly in the ARB fund and also with Fluid token holders, and details will be released next week. But people will be able to purchase it directly in our app from about the middle of next week. So yeah, it's going to be really amazing. So maybe this is a good time for Igor and Kirill to talk about the P2P marketplace that we've built.
Sure, but I will be brief, and Kirill will be the person of the highlight of the day. Just wanted to say that Robert is right. This is a big opportunity for us. We worked on this for quite a long time. This really allows us to do much more than we previously have been up to. Previously, we've been tied to the bank partners that we have to do the functionality that we want to offer to our customers. I'm actually sorry for the background noise. Me and Kirill are near the Christmas celebration, which it's already started. It's 9th of December, So nevertheless, now it is possible for us to do much more functionality for our users to provide the actual peer-to-peer connectivity between them and allow in future numerous new exciting flows and currencies to be used in different manners. Kirill, please.
Hi everyone. I'll show our new awesome feature, which is now available for Nigerian clients. Marketplace. Start from, if you don't really care about all this marketplace and so on, you can just go and take the best offer on the market, choosing anybody. But if you click my own offer, you see all available agents. It's all necessary data. Rate, limits from the agents, payment time, completed percentage, and of course rating. Those are best agents. Almost no rating here except for my main account. You could add them in the favorites list. So in this case, favorite again, agents will be always on top. But you can change sorting method. Here, also there is some by name, by the agents account like 5,000 Nairas, only one can take.
Our desks are literally shaking due to the carnival just being outside of the window. Sorry.
Yeah, huge orchestra literally passing through our office right now. So we can choose agent which we like. Once again, we can check all the data, rating, payment time. And here we are on the actual P2P sending form. Since recently, input amount in DUSD, so it would be more comfortable to control how much we send. 20 DUSD. It's converted to Nairas. You can choose any bank which is supported. First name, last name, and account number. See friends. Phone number also is an option, but it's not necessary. Click submit, confirm. Transactions, in my case, it's with Web3 wallet, but 2FA is also available. Done. Transaction is gone, and this is my test agent interface. As you can see, we received this transaction. As some of you already know, after 5 minutes, there will be a notification pop up like, hey guy, please check link. But we are not doing it. I can accept it directly. Let's say that I received.
Amazing. And I've never seen Igor look so happy on a community call. I think he's feeling the Christmas spirit.
So sorry, this is like very unexpected, but yeah, things happen.
They actually already been here like an hour ago, and they play awesome music.
For those who don't know, our Tbilisi, Georgia office, it's in the coolest part of town. It's like a brick and glass office. It's really beautiful. And it's in like a cool little square complex. I guess the downside is that's where like whatever the Christmas festivities are held. So that's really cool, Kirill. That's amazing. One of the reasons why Igor is smiling as well is that it's been an incredible amount of work from the tech team these last few months to have created this marketplace. I can't I can't tell you how revolutionary this is, because what it does with Fluid is it ties together the traditional space and the digital space in a way that basically allows us to offer the best possible remittance or transfer rates to our users. And it's always like at very least several percentage points above, the largest and most liquid currencies. And then for other currencies where there's controls in place, like Nigeria, Argentina, lots of other countries around the world, the spreads are even higher. This leads to our idea of the arbitrage fund. Holders of the Fluid token will, of course, benefit from that as well. But the company is really going to focus on this, what like we always do, is the integration of the traditional space and digital rails, essentially to offer something really incredible to our users. So we've seen really significant user growth based on this. We're using Nigeria as a bit of a template. So in the probably next week, you're going to see a dedicated site to Nigeria, which will launch. We have other sites coming as well that we're working on: Turkey, Argentina, India, a few others also where we can hold the currency. And yeah, we have like a remittance aspect to the business. the typical remittance market is very competitive and margins aren't that great. So that's not usually where I look to expand. The reason why this makes it so incredible is basically the combination of all of the integrations we've done on the traditional side, which Igor and the team have done over more than a year now, plus combined with digital rails or crypto and this P2P marketplace. So one of the reasons I think why Igor is happy is that the end result of this is just mind-blowing. So we've started with Nigeria. We're going to roll this out across our 32 different currencies, and we have a number of markets that we're attacking and that we're building. So Jessica can talk maybe a bit about some of our community building in these different markets.
Yeah, and just to kind of echo what everyone has said, the tech team and the content team have been working remarkably hard over the past few weeks, pulling everything together. So it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to bring this to market. The feedback that we've had from our community members and our new application users has been awesome. People really like the fact that with Fluid, the ownership goes back into the people, and we give you such flexibility with the offerings that we provide. So the feedback has been amazing so far, and a huge thank you to all of our community channels as well. We think we have around 38 different regional community channels across Twitter, for example, which is absolutely remarkable. And we can see all of the different Africa, Tanzania, Uganda, people that are commenting and saying how they're really excited for the P2P marketplace to be rolled out. So we do see all of the comments. Ava has reminded me to pass on a huge thank you to everyone that's put time and effort into helping expand this market. This week alone, we've had our African community take part in Twitter Spaces, explaining what Fluid Finance is and how it can benefit you as a user. And this is what it's all about, is breaking down and explaining to people that are getting a little bit more tech savvy and inclusive how we can benefit you with our application and the tech that we've built. And Ava's also asked me to pass on as well a big thank you, because at the moment we are conducting community interviews for our DAO. So there has been a few thank yous to everyone that has volunteered to participate so far. We're really excited for the rollout, and we will keep you posted on future calls and updates when we do have more developments coming forward. And also, just from a marketing side of things, we do have some fun Christmas posts and incentives that will be rolling out over the next few weeks, as I've mentioned. This is our last community call of the new year, but it doesn't mean that we're going to be touching base with you guys before we end up and roll into 2023. We are going to have some announcements and updates before then. So yeah, pretty exciting. We do have as well some questions that we're going to be rolling through as well. So maybe if it's fine with everyone that's on the call, we can jump in with the questions. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
great.
great.
One of the first. Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
It sounds great. Let's go ahead.
Awesome. So one of the first questions that we have is there a huge regulatory challenge for launching in the US market? And Igor, I believe that's something that you would like to jump in and answer.
Yeah, we'll be short. Some of you might know, the US is one of the most regulated markets on the planet and one of the biggest players in the world in the financial space. So clearly, competing there and being fully regulated there is the challenge. But fortunately for that, we have our amazing partners that cover almost all of it. Plus, we try to comply with all the other possible regulations. So we're good.
That's great. You see, like Igor, our CTO,
and then next
our CTO.
You go ahead. Sorry.
So you see our CTO multitasking and answering the legal questions. That's really great. But we have signed with our US partner, and that allows us to offer FDIC insured bank accounts in all 50 states. So yeah, that is I think. Igor, all of the tech integration work is done. Is that right? And we're just waiting to decide when to launch.
Yeah, that's correct. The integration has been ready for quite some time now, but all the legal stuff takes quite a long time.
And one question that we have as well. So actually the arbitrage fund has sparked a lot of interest online, and we have been asked, when it comes to the profit for the arbitrage fund, does it flow back to token holders? And maybe Robert, that's something I can hand over to you to just break down the fund flow, the profit flow, and the reward incentive with dividends, how it works.
Yes. And so that essentially is shared between token holders and the arbitrage fund investors. So it's structured, of course, it uses Fluid's infrastructure that we've built. And so Fluid, of course, is rewarded for that. And then investors in the arbitrage fund basically get pure exposure to this currency arbitrage around the world, which is really rare, you know, for like, if you're like the wealthiest of the wealthy here in Switzerland, you know, your private banker maybe calls you up every now and then and says, we've got a really unique niche opportunity for you to invest in. And so our idea is to, like everything at Fluid, is really to democratize it, to make it available to anybody in the world. So people will be able to invest in our pre-sale tokens directly into the arbitrage fund, and then those tokens will convert into fully tradable tokens on full launch, which is in Q1. So what's being offered from next week are pre-sale tokens. Rather than offering the pre-sale to insiders, VCs, people who get a special deal, this is going to be offered to anybody through Fluid. And there is, of course, a benefit. There's a discount, or actually it's an additional bonus if you hold Fluid tokens. So all of that will launch next week with some marketing and yeah, some cool announcements.
And we also have someone that has been asking, when it comes to the $50 million cap for the ARB fund, talk through the process of the build-up, and then once we hit the 50 million, what will happen then?
Okay, so the idea is that we can deploy 50 million and still make like really, really excellent returns. Beyond that, it's harder to estimate. Of course, we will open it up to many people afterwards, but at least for the pre-sale, we wanted to cap it at like a relatively reasonable number that we know we can use and take advantage of. So that's what we're doing in the pre-sale. That will be put to work. And then, you know, to set up, to structure the fund is being structured as a Cayman Islands open-ended mutual fund. It's an exempt company in the Cayman Islands. It is going to be regulated and controlled in Cayman. There will be certain people who are excluded, of course, from investing in it, and those details will be made clear, including, unfortunately, in the United States, you have to be an accredited investor if you're an American to invest in it. So all of those details are coming, but there is a cap, and it is first come, first serve.
Fantastic. And now we have a few questions that have come in, a lot of curiosity regarding the update we announced on the potential acquisition of the Swiss bank. So how that's going and how will it be structured?
Yeah, so that's okay. We're having discussions with the regulator here in Switzerland. So we're kind of in a quiet period. I don't have anything that I can announce at the moment because we are having these discussions with the regulator. I guess I can only say that I think the future is regulated. You know, I think it's a combination of, if you touch the traditional space, I think you need to be regulated. I think if you're in the crypto space and you can structure yourself essentially as just open source software, kind of like Maker's endgame plan envisages their company. I think those two models are the models that are going to prevail in the future. So either you're regulated or you're, permissionless open source software, fully decentralized, running on Ethereum. I think a hybrid model where you're not just open source software that kind of just executes, like that you have like a real team directing everything, and yet you're still offering financial products to traditional people. I think that model is in trouble. So Fluid's idea, of course, is always to work with regulated partners, just like in the United States. It allows us to offer, like I said, FDIC insured bank accounts, all 50 states, the same as we offer essentially bank accounts or e-money wallets in other jurisdictions, including the EEA, and the United Kingdom, as people know at the moment. And then, of course, our Fluid accounts are global, but they're not bank accounts. We of course, don't want to be like a typical bank. That's the whole reason behind Fluid, is to try and build like a better financial model for a better world. So, yeah, buying a Swiss bank and probably also investing in other regulated entities around the world as we grow for everything for Fluid that touches the traditional space. I think that's the model. And we actually are extremely keen on partnerships with real crypto companies. I don't mean fake crypto companies that are actually like black boxes like Celsius or FTX. I mean real, genuine, honest crypto companies like, like Maker, like Aave, like Balancer, all of whom we work with. That's, that is 100% the Fluid model. So.
Absolutely. So watch this space for some exciting partnerships that will be coming soon, making Fluid accessible to everyone. So speaking of kind of partnerships and updates, we do have one question for Igor when it comes to ETH mainnet, when we can expect this, and is it something that we can see in the pipeline for Q1 of next year?
Actually planning to launch this in Q4, but the marketplace came faster, so it will probably be early Q1 next year. But we are doing the final preparations now, and it's we can say almost ready technically. Again, there are some other minor things to take care, but yeah, we are nearly fully done.
Fantastic. And then we do have one question as well, which is directed to marketing. And this is to do with our off-ramp campaign for free off-ramps, when that will end. So that will be ending at midnight CET tonight. So if you guys haven't utilized that for the past 7 days, we have been gifting for free off-ramps into the crypto ecosystem. So do make sure to head over to socials if you're looking for some more info. Okay, fantastic. I think we've managed to go through most of the questions. The final question regarding the ARB fund, which Robert, I will hand back over to you, is will the ARB fund tokens be tradable?
Yes, and so the pre-sale tokens are not tradable. It's typical pre-sale. Basically, it takes a few months to have the fund fully set up. So you participate in the pre-sale. Your benefit for participating in the pre-sale, we've already actually had a lot of interest and a number of investors that have already invested it, mainly on the traditional side. So those tokens are locked. They're not tradable for until the fund launches, which is going to be in Q1. When the fund does launch, the pre-sale tokens basically are converted into tradable tokens with an uplift. So some of our earliest investors got a 2x uplift. And then it goes through as we get close to our cap, the uplift declines a little bit, but yeah, they definitely will be traded. And it's a very good question. And one of the things we're thinking about is what will they be quoted against? And, one of the things we're doing a lot here at Fluid is thinking of what the future is of the overall crypto space after, SBF has disappeared, or hopefully disappears soon. But, after FTX has disappeared, I guess you could say. And our vision, like I just outlined, is that everything that's in the traditional space is going to be regulated. And that's where we want to be, also through our partners. We also will be interacting, exclusively with real crypto companies. And so that is who we have at the moment. It's like Balancer, it's Aave, it's Maker. And so, my favorite stablecoin is DAI. That's why we have an existing pool of DUSD DAI. And so what's really, really cool, which I think Jessica and the marketing team are going to illustrate, is that you can use our DUSD to actually spend it in the real world. And this is the whole, this is the whole purpose of Fluid. It's to bring together these two worlds. It's not just going one way, from real world assets like currencies on chain, which we do, because of course our DUSD is simply real money on chain, but it's going the other way as well. So Jessica, do you want to talk at all about, your crypto coffee idea?
Yeah, so I know we touched on it a little bit earlier on today, but I think it was just such a breakthrough for the Fluid team for us to really see firsthand that using Google Pay and Apple Pay directly from our digital cash account, so DGGP or DUSD, we were able to spend it on these small purchases. And we just thought this is so revolutionary. It was something that I particularly was so passionate and excited about, because for any of the people that do go to cryptocurrency conferences and you'll hear people talk about adoption of digital assets and cryptocurrencies, and the phrase that comes up a lot when you hear panel discussions or keynotes is, we're not quite there yet with crypto, because you still can't do really ordinary things like go and buy a cup of coffee with your digital assets or with your crypto. And actually, it feels like with Fluid, we have created this breakthrough moment where you can spend directly your digital assets on things as simple and as instant as a cup of coffee, which is just really, really exciting and a really powerful tool for mass adoption of this industry moving forward, not just for Fluid Finance, but also we're helping facilitate. So as Robert mentioned there, not just with Fluid, but you can also utilize with other digital assets as well. And it's a really exciting way that we can move into the industry and help it grow. So Q1 is definitely going to be a big focus for the marketing team on partnerships within the industry, just to really help emphasize how fast and how accessible Fluid is to help bridge together the real world and the digital world. So really excited, and a huge thank you to everyone that has been using the application, testing it out, partnered and collabed with Google Pay and Apple Pay, and actually using these transactions and also showing the transactions as well, because we do want to see the copies around the world. We do have some of our team members that will be going out this weekend and sharing those on socials. So we'll make sure to share it with our Telegram and Twitter communities as well. But as Robert said, a really big breakthrough. So it's super exciting for us.
I really do think it's revolutionary that you can actually spend digital currency on your Fluid cards. And so you can spend our digital dollars to buy a coffee, as Jessica was talking about. Also, because we love DAI and we've created this DUSD DAI pool, you can essentially, for everybody who holds DAI, you can spend DAI in the real world now on your Fluid card. So we're going to be illustrating that in some videos and some articles that are coming out next week, probably. But like, I really do think in the future, I think the combination of something like Fluid, who enables access to the real world totally seamlessly, together with something like Maker and DAI, is really going to replace centralized exchanges. I think that like everybody is concerned now about holding their money on a centralized exchange. There's nothing better than being able to hold your money in your own Web3 wallet. And then the question is like, if it's just crypto in my wallet and I can't use it in the real world, what's the point? And so what we've done, which I think is really revolutionary, is we're enabling people to spend their digital dollars, including DAI, on their Fluid cards, which run on the MasterCard network. So yeah, it's pretty incredible. So that is something that is coming next week. And we're going to advertise just how mind-blowing it is. One is I think it like really shows a tangible use case for crypto, because you can buy, you can do as one of our community members did. You can buy an apartment in Greece by off-ramping through Fluid. You can also like spend it to buy coffee on your card, on your Fluid card, including DAI. And I think that combination of Fluid, DUSD plus DAI with Maker, I think is essentially the better model than just trusting your money on a centralized exchange.
Completely agree, especially now more than ever. So 2023, guys, watch this space. Fluid is coming for all the centralized exchanges. Amazing, guys. Thank you so much. That was awesome. We've covered all of the questions. A big thank you to our new joiners for introducing yourselves to the Fluid family, and also Kirill for giving us the demo, Igor for answering the tech and some of the legal questions as well. And Max, as always, for hosting us. It's a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Yes, so we'll let Kirill and Igor go celebrate at the Christmas festival in Tbilisi. Sounds like a real party. Thanks for all of your amazing work on building the P2P marketplace. It's really going to change the world. We're starting with Nigeria, but for sure you're going to see us rolling out in lots of different countries next year. Thanks again, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.